It is a big day for Prince Charles, quite a frenetic pace. Joining us now is political commentator, former advisor to Tony Blair and Julia Gillard, John McTernan. Great to see you in person, John. First of all, our audience is about to hear your accent, so this is why I'm asking this question. The significance today and the farewell to the Queen, the Royal Mile, is full of, ceremony.
Full of ordinary Scottish people who loved the Queen and are now out there showing their respect to her, but also their respect to King Charles. And the Queen loved Scotland. She loved Balmoral. She spent every September up there. Prince Philip used to do a barbecue, whatever the weather. It could be snow in the air, but they'd be out there having their barbecue. And so the great love that she had for Scotland, I think, has been reciprocated, and it's entirely appropriate that she had the service, it was there in St Giles Cathedral today, and you saw what people think about her.
It has been well documented, her feelings towards Scotland. I mean, particularly at Balmoral, it's where she holidayed as a child, and she continued to keep a presence there. So, and she died in Scotland. So in a way, I mean, it's fair to say that Scotland gets the first proper chance to say her goodbye, and that seems quite fitting.
I think it did. I think it had everything in her life was in it. The Scottish connection from a child. I saw that shot of the horses all lined up by the road. And
the tractors.
And they just that kind of throwing back to her life, throwing back to the way that she liked to live. She was a horsewoman above all else. So yeah, Scotland got the first chance to say goodbye. But there'll be many Scots, London Scots, who are down here queuing today. Will be queuing to see her in Westminster Hall.
Do they share that affection for King Charles?
I think they do. I think he has moved into the position really quite quickly, quite well. We've heard what he said to Parliament about he's going to be like his mum, not like himself as a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old. He was the Prince of Wales. He had a certain informality about his style, and now he is going to be. He's not just the King of the United Kingdom, but he's also of so many other territories abroad.
Does he have the same feelings towards Scotland as his mum did?
I think he did. He went to school in Scotland, so he will also have had family holidays in September in Scotland. I mean, he will have had all the experiences that made her love it. I think it's got a special place, has since Queen Victoria, in the royal family's heart. Scotland's been very special to them, and Scotland's a really important part of the UK, both in its beauty and its contribution to the country.
John, when you look at the ceremony today, but also hear some of the comments like Annalise was talking to as people lined up to pay their respects, two things can be possible: great respect for the monarchy, but also wanting independence. What's the likelihood of that happening?
I don't think independence will happen. Actually, I think the peak of the demand for it's passed. I think the economic case for staying in the UK is strongly made by the pandemic, by the GFC, and now by the cost of living crisis, the energy price crisis. But I think at the moment it's not a time for politics, and you saw SNP MPs, and the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, who campaigned for independence, tries to campaign for independence as much as she can, showing the respect and the honour to the Queen, and they want the Queen to be the Queen of an independent Scotland, or they wanted, and now they want King Charles to be the monarch of an independent Scotland.
I was reading about the Royal Standard today, and this point was made to us yesterday. These are these subtle touches that mean a lot to Scots. The fact that the Royal Standard is the Scottish version of it that's on her coffin at the moment.
Well, it is really important. It was a union of the crowns before it was a union of nations and parliaments, and so those traditions do go back. And flags, the armed services, you saw the armed services are really important in Scotland. Scotland's made a disproportionate contribution, not just to countries like Australia, but also to our armed forces and to Britain when it was an empire, now Britain as the Commonwealth. So the interlinkages of the families of our countries within the UK and also with the families within Australia are very strong, very powerful.
The oldest surviving crown jewels as well lay upon her coffin, I think from 1540.
Yeah.
The English ones were destroyed, is that right? And so these are the oldest surviving ones?
These are the oldest surviving ones. I think Sir Walter Scott discovered them buried, hidden in the castle in a great act of theatre. He was a great theatrical supporter of the monarchy.
Wow. Just quickly before I let you go, you know Australia very well. As we mentioned at the top, also advisor to Julia Gillard. How do you think Australia will go with King Charles? Will there be a change, do you think? You know where the debate's at.
Yeah, look, I think it would be a very sad moment if Australia got rid of the monarchy, because the monarch has never interfered in Australian politics. I can't think of an occasion. Hasn't interfered in UK politics. The constitutional monarchy is a very safe place to be. presidential system, rip it up, throw it all away. It brings out the conservative in me. I want to have as little change as possible.
Never thought I'd
People
hear you say
argue
that.
that it's be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, well, all institutions take a long time to build up and to be ones that people put trust in, and they take a minute to wreck. I'd be worried about that.
John McTernan, great to see you. Thanks so much.
See you.
Thanks, John.